This week, we've got fresh announcements from RDVFL with a brand new source unit solution for Chevy trucks. VOXX Electronics with brand new ADAS solutions. Memphis Audio with a restructuring of sorts when it comes to their ownership. MODUS talking about their pre-act technology. And QUART introducing a new subwoofer enclosure solution for Toyota Tacoma. This is CMA Live All Access, brought to you by SiriusXM and sponsored by 5-Axis Innovations. And it starts now. Now, if the title of this story has caught your attention, well, it certainly should. Because I'll tell you what, in every category across mobile electronics, the source unit category has certainly been one that's been up for discussion. Cars have consistently evolved, systems have become more complicated, and now more than ever, it's getting harder for us retailers to sell customers to upgrade their radio. Well, along comes RDVFL with a whole new take on how to attempt to do this. And might I add, this is a fresh one. Joining us now is Rich Disclafani from RDVFL. Now, Rich, I got to start right off the gate with what the title of today's story is, and that is changing the game by upgrading the source unit, but without replacing the radio. Give us a little bit more on this.
Yeah, Ben, you really nailed it. Integrating into the factory systems these days, specifically the factory amplifiers, by changing the radio is more difficult and challenging than it's ever been. So we decided that we were going to take a completely different route, and we were going to give you all of the benefits without all of the drawbacks.
Well, Rich, I really am curious about how you managed to do this. But first, let's break this down. For those tuning in, we're talking about modern systems, modern source units. So, Rich, what are some of the challenges that we're facing before you kind of created this solution?
Yeah, so the main challenges are retaining the factory features. That is the main challenge when you're replacing the radio, because there's a whole slew of OEM features that are built into the factory radio that you can't retain when you change the radio. And a lot of it is audio quality, sound quality. Most of it is feature set. And then the complication of integrating into the factory amplifier as well. So all of these problems are non-existent with our solution.
Well, Rich, I certainly understand what you're talking about. These systems are becoming more complex, whether it's a tone that comes out from a specific driver in the car, or alerts, or cameras, or anything of this nature. It's certainly a lot to deal with. And customers, above all, do not want to lose any of these features. After all, they did pay for it. Now, I just want to correct you a little bit that there are certain solutions on the market available. But don't get me wrong, these are certainly, they come with a cost, and they're not necessarily as simple depending on the platform.
You're absolutely right, Ben. But at some point, even with those systems, you are sacrificing some of the OEM features. A lot of times it could be either satellite radio or some of the 360 camera features in some of the vehicles, trailer camera features, the ability to zoom in and out on the cameras that a lot of the vehicles have. So most of the time, I'm going to go out on a limb and say pretty much every single radio replacement for these vehicles, especially for these newer vehicles, you sacrifice something somewhere along the line on the OEM side. So this solution allows you to absolutely sacrifice nothing.
All right, Rich, you definitely have my curiosity piqued. So let's get into it. We've identified what the challenges are. What is your solution? And explain to us in layman terms how it works.
Yeah, so essentially, all of the vehicles that we're going to be supporting with this type of solution, the screen and the actual head unit, the radio itself, are separate. And they're only connected by a few cables that allow the radio to display on that screen. So what we do is we allow you to replace the screen itself and still retain the radio itself. So we're able to extract the information directly from the radio, which is in much simpler format because it's only projecting the information onto the screen and capturing the touch commands essentially. So the integration there is a lot easier and simpler than actually replacing the whole radio. So this, in addition, gives us the ability to display all of the factory radio options and features and use all of the factory radio options and features through the new screen. Satellite radio, AM, FM, OnStar, cameras, everything that you can access through the factory radio before you change the screen will still be there available for you after you change the screen.
All right, hold on. Let's take a step back for a second, Rich. So what you're saying is you are retaining the actual factory radio, and all you're doing is replacing the factory display with an upgraded display. So right off the gate, I got 3 different questions for you. Number 1, the new screen, does it come with everything it needs to, the bezel, the trim, and all that to make it look factory? That's question number 1. Question number 2, is it only replacing the screen and not having any extra features, or are there any extra features involved? And number 3, how hard is this to install? Because I'll be honest, these screens, they're big, and there's not a lot of experience because most of us haven't even bothered touching them.
Yeah, this is a complete kit. It comes with everything you need to do the installation. It just T-harnesses in, essentially. It's all plug and play. It comes with beautiful silver trim for the bezel that is already attached to the screen itself. It's all one piece. So everything is all included for you to complete the installation, and it looks beautiful. It matches the interior beautifully. The fit and finish is perfect. There's no gaps or discoloration compared to any of the factory parts that are in the car. So really, really nice solution. And as far as feature sets, wow. I mean, not only do you retain all of your factory features and you don't sacrifice anything, but you get all of the benefits of the upgraded source unit and then some, because you're getting a 15.6-inch display. It's 1920p. It's super high resolution. You get a SIM card input, so you can put a SIM card into it so you can stream video anytime you want using the SIM card. You can download any video streaming apps you want to it: YouTube, Hulu, Netflix, Sling, Disney Plus, all that stuff. You can watch right through the screen. Has built-in wireless CarPlay and wireless Android Auto, and just gives you a whole ton of additional features from camera inputs to AV input to the streaming apps, and basically just everything you would want in an upgraded source unit as well. And then because we're not actually changing the radio itself, installation is very straightforward. Basically all you're doing is replacing the screen itself and that whole front panel. So usually 2 hours or less on the install side, and it's a really, really straightforward job overall. So nothing but benefits to using this type of technology, and it comes with a 3-year warranty as well.
Well, certainly, Rich, this is a very, very impressive layout that you've come up with. Not only do you have the added benefits of all the OEM factory features, but now, like you said, the list of different features, which is very long, and a giant screen that obviously people really enjoy. The testament to that, recently at our CMA Expo show in Toronto, we did an in-vehicle training, and Rich actually had a Silverado in person and installed this unit live. So a testament to the time frame of install. Now, of course, this is Rich. He's a little bit more advanced of a technician, but that session was only 90 minutes long, and Rich managed to install that live in front of a live audience. We have some pictures here that show you that install. So Rich, listen, checkbox on the benefits, checkbox on the installation time. I mean, where's this going for RDVFL? Is this going to be a new category? What's the response been so far?
Yeah, thank you so much, Ben. The opportunity to do the install at CMA was incredible, and it was an amazing experience. Very thankful to be there and to be able to do that in front of everybody that was there. Really, really great show, and appreciative and thankful to you guys for putting it on, and really glad I was there. And as far as what this means for RDVFL and this category moving forward, the feedback has been tremendous. Unbelievable how well received this screen has been, and the incredible feedback that I've gotten from everybody that's installed one, all the dealers that have put them in, just rave about how easy it was overall and how well it integrates into the factory system and allows the usage of all of the factory features and completely eliminates all of the liability of actually changing the radio itself. So we are definitely going to be moving forward with this platform and developing much more technology with this philosophy in hand, where the factory radio stays intact and we're just upgrading the screen and allowing for all those factory features to stay retained and eliminating all of the potential issues by changing the radio. So very excited about this category moving forward.
Well, Rich, I got to say, it's quite impressive. It's very innovative. And I, for one, love it when companies like yourselves come to the table with solutions for our retailers to be able to not only maintain, but also grow their business and capture some of that business that, previous to this innovation was difficult to get. So congratulations on that. All right, last thing, where can people find more info, Rich? And what do you think the timeline is on maybe getting a few more applications to announce?
Yeah, I mean, you could find all the information on our website, rdvfl.com. Feel free to contact us anytime, reach out, call, email, check the website. We attend all the major trade shows in the industry, so you could always find us there as well and see the product in person on hand. But yeah, I mean, we are going to be releasing upgrades for different vehicles pretty much in the next few weeks and continuing to move forward the rest of 2025. So this is going to be a big year, and we're going to be releasing a lot more compatible screens for a lot of different model vehicles. So stay tuned. And the second half of 2025 is going to be big.
Are you looking for an audio display for your car audio shop? Look no further than 5-Axis. We specialize in audio displays, motorcycle displays, power sports displays, UTV displays. All our displays are custom designed to tailor with your needs. We go anywhere from custom graphics to custom LED panels with fabric posters right above. Visit us on 5AxisInnovations.com or check us out on Facebook or Instagram at 5-Axis Innovations. Or give us a call at 414-326-7162. Look forward to hearing from you.
We shift gears now to yet another growing category in ADAS, which is driver assistance and safety. More specifically, joining us now is Daniel Bisceglia, who is the Director of Product Management over at VOXX Electronics, here to talk about a brand new product within this category, more specifically, parking sensor kit. Dan, welcome to the show, and what can you tell us?
Hi, Ben. Thanks for having me. And today we are going to talk about that PSD4FR from VOXX Electronics. This is a brand new 4-sensor ultrasonic parking sensor kit. This new kit can be used on the front of the vehicle or the rear of the vehicle. It can be installed as a 4-sensor kit or a 2-sensor kit. And the coolest thing is that it can be installed in both plastic bumpers and metal bumpers. So we can cover all of the different vehicle applications out there from all of your cars, SUVs, and trucks. It even has some new features for the front, like an auto mute function. All of the sensors are paintable, and they even include the metal bushings, the rubber bushings that you would use to install in a metal bumper. This kit includes both a speaker and a buzzer, so that you can choose, or your customer can choose, which alerting device they would prefer in their vehicle or their application.
Well, Dan, from the sounds of it, this new kit certainly is feature-packed, but let's focus on some of the new additions as far as improvements over the previous generation.
So the previous generation had a display in the kit. And on this new generation, we retooled the display, and now we have a very small, slim display so that it can be mounted on the dashboard, up in the sun visor, or it can even be mounted on the rear of the vehicle within view of the rearview mirror. And the display is reversible so that when you look at it in the mirror, you're seeing the numerical readout properly. And like I said before, we include both the display and the speaker in the kit so that the customer can choose which application works best for them.
Now, I know how VOXX Electronics rolls, and it always has the installer and salesperson in mind. So when it comes to this new kit, and beyond all the cool features that you've already talked about, what other accessories or add-ons do dealers need to know about that may be available for this new kit?
That's a great question. We didn't want to burden the parking sensor kit with all of the accessories you could possibly need, so we do sell one accessory separate. This accessory kit is the PSD GPS. It is a GPS antenna that plugs directly into the parking sensor module. That GPS antenna allows the parking sensor to auto mute when it reaches 10 miles per hour. That way, when you're using this kit in the front sensor configuration, you don't get any false warnings while you're driving down the road. Also included in the PSD GPS is a bypass switch. It's a single momentary switch that you can press to bypass the system altogether. Let's say you're in a northern climate and it happened to be a really snowy or icy day. All that ice buildup on your bumper can cause the system to give a false warning anytime you're below that 10 mile per hour mark. Now you can simply press the button to bypass the system until you get the opportunity to clean that bumper off. The system will automatically reset itself when there's an ignition cycle. So if you forgot that you turned the system on or off, it will automatically turn itself on with the next ignition cycle.
So if you've been following along, we're talking about a brand new premium parking sensor kit coming to you from VOXX Electronics. But not to worry, if you have customers that may be more budget conscious, VOXX Electronics also has a new solution for you as well. It's a little bit more basic, but Dan, you're going to talk to us a little bit about this more budget-friendly version of the sensor kit.
The PSD4 DSP is a budget-friendly parking sensor kit. It includes 4 sensors in the box, and it's designed to be used as a rear parking sensor kit. It cannot be used in the front of the vehicle. The nice thing about this kit is we do include the display. We also include all the accessories to mount the sensors in plastic or metal bumpers. It just doesn't have all of the premium features that the front or rear kit has. It includes the display only, but it is a great parking sensor kit for the budget-friendly customer.
Now, at the top of this conversation, we did mention there are several different products being announced today here on CMA Live. As we move on to this next very intriguing piece, one that's very popular, we're talking about an introduction of a new version of a rear view mirror with built-in DVR. This is an entire new kit, great input options. Dan, give us all the details.
Back in January, VOXX released the RVM DVR. This is a replacement rear view mirror product that can go on the windshield, and it has a built-in DVR system. It's a 10-inch display, 2K video, and it includes a front camera. The cool thing about that camera is that it can point out at the road or it can point in at the cabin. It's a very cool barrel-style rolling camera. It is a 2-channel system, so we can add one of 2 accessory cameras to the system. It'll record all of the normal DVR functions like impact detection. It has a built-in GPS sensor, so it'll overlay your location right onto the video, and it'll also overlay speed if you choose to include that in the video. Another cool feature of it is that it can stream each of one of the channels that it has. So if you do have a camera mounted on the rear of the vehicle, you can have that streaming full screen on the 10-inch display at all times while you're driving, giving you a nice unobstructed view of what's behind you. And of course, if there is an accident or if you do need to record something, it has that built-in DVR feature for you.
Dan, I have to admit, this piece absolutely looks the part. I really like what we see here. It's really slick, and it's got some really cool features. Now, let's dive in a little bit deeper. You mentioned there are some accessories, some options, like camera options. Let's talk about the interior mounting option as well as rear-facing exterior mounting options as well.
Yeah, Ben, the RVM DVR includes 1 camera in the package, and we sell 2 cameras as accessories. And the reason we do that is so that you can choose the camera that works best for your situation. The INT Cam 1 is an interior mounted camera. That camera can be added to the system. You can mount that on the front window facing the cabin, or you can mount that on the rear window facing the road behind you to give you that streaming option while you're driving. The EXT Cam 1 is an exterior mount camera. That can be mounted on the outside of the vehicle or SUV in the license plate or trunk area. It can also be mounted on a commercial vehicle to give you that same video recording and streaming function. We do offer a 3rd accessory. This accessory is a mount specifically for the Jeep Wrangler JL and the Jeep Gladiator. We include a universal mount in the kit to mount on most windshield applications. But if you've ever worked on a Jeep Wrangler JL or a Gladiator, you'll know that that rear view mirror mounts to the roof of the vehicle. Because of the geometry, we need to have a mount separate for those vehicles. But now we have you covered with the DVR JM1.
So in summary, VOXX Electronics coming to you with not one, but 3 different products new for the ADAS category. We talked about a premium solution for rear parking sensors, a more budget-friendly version as well for rear only, and an all-new version of a DVR rear view mirror system. Last question I have for you, Dan. This is all exciting news. What do dealers need to know as far as availability, and where can they get more info?
That's a great question. All of these products that we talked about today are available and shipping. If you have any questions, you can contact your rep or your regional salesperson. Or if you need more information, you can go to voxelectronics.com.
Hey, Paul here with SiriusXM, and I'd like to talk to you about attachment selling and why the SiriusXM product is one of the best things to add, especially since we don't trade dollars with any other category. I could go through all of this, but let's hear what some of our dealers have to say.
It's an easy add-on that takes, 10, 15 minutes if we're running an antenna, 1 minute if we've got an adapter to plug it into the factory SiriusXM antenna, and it's extra money, so no brainer.
I present it to every customer because a lot of customers don't know what all they can do with Sirius. They don't know what all content they could have. It just makes too much sense not to sell it.
It creates a different customer loyalty and customer security when you explain to them why it's a better experience. Just gets them back in the door. And then the next car, they're already asking for it again. So it just keeps selling itself. It makes more sense.
Well, there you have it. You heard from our dealers. Just remember some of the best practices. Make sure you have one on display so you can demo it. Make sure you're taking advantage of our rewards program, because if you're not taking advantage of that, you're leaving even more money on the table. Make sure you got our POP up on display. And other than that, just make sure you're recommending it.
Now, it's not every day that our industry receives not only a new brand in the mix, but also some new technology to get excited about. By now, you've surely heard about the launch of MODUS, a revolutionary new product line that's toting some pretty strong engineering and technology that we need to know about. Joining us now is Rob Oshayski, who is the Director of OEM Marine from MODUS. Rob, welcome to the show. First question out of the gate. First of all, congratulations on the new brand, but we've got a lot of questions. We've been meaning to have you on here for quite some time, and the industry wants to know. I mean, there's some technology. You can see from our headline that we're talking about pre-act current averaging technology. Now, that does seem like a mouthful, but I'm hoping you can help clear that up.
Hi, Ben. Thanks for having me. So we're going to talk about pre-act technology. So pre-act technology is where we add a battery to an amplifier. So the technology actually stands for Power Response Energy Amplification Current Technology. And sorry, I had to read that off a list because it's hard to remember. This technology basically allows us to make amplifiers way more efficient. So simplifying your installs and fixing a lot of things in your systems that would issues that you would run into during installs of car or marine products.
Well, Rob, no doubt that is a mouthful, but the acronym PREACT we could certainly understand. Now, you said some pretty game-changing things here, because as long as I remember, and to my knowledge, this is the first I've ever seen whereby an amplifier is introducing another type of power source that's actually built into the amplifier by means of a lithium battery. Now, you mentioned this increases efficiency. Help us understand how that's so and where the application of this technology really shines.
So this technology has two power supplies in an amplifier. So the best part about the two power supplies in an amplifier is we can take the first power supply and make it a super efficient power supply. In the case of our biggest amplifier, it is a 300 watt power supply. So maximum 24 amps of current draw. So that power supply powers the lithium ion battery bank, basically isolating the amplifier section of the amplifier from the lithium ion battery bank. And that section runs at 24 volts. So all the way across the board. So we have a power supply charging the battery bank. We have that battery bank powering the amplifier. All the way across the board, we start gaining efficiencies. And really, we're pulling power from where you wouldn't necessarily have pulled power from before. So areas where the music is really low or where you have the music down, we're really stealing power from there to give it to you when you need it.
All right, so if you're just tuning in, we're talking to MODUS about their pre-act technology that you might have heard of, and you probably heard by now that there is a battery included in the app. Now, Rob just brilliantly explained how this works, and to my understanding, they've separated the way the amplifier actually powers. The amplification section is one section, but then the charging section for the lithium battery is another one. And Rob just explained that it draws a maximum of 24 volts. Well, if you're into this, then you would understand that, especially when it comes to boats, the last thing you want is to draw too much power, because let's be honest, power is very limited. So let's take this a little bit further. Talk to us about the efficiency, the output, and real world situations where this PREACT technology can actually be applied.
So the initial power supply in this amplifier is only 300 watts like we talked about before, but because it's only 300 watts, we can make it super efficient. So when I say super efficient, it can run from 9 volts to 58 volts with no internal changes. So we can hook a 48 volt boat up to this amplifier. We can hook a 48 volt Cybertruck as we have in our demo truck up to this amplifier. And again, it runs even more efficient at higher voltages, as you would expect. But even down to those lower voltages of 9 volts, I mean, it's still only pulling its maximum 24 amps of current. So where this application helps you in boats or even cars is that it draws such little current, so you can have lower gauge power wires. You can have you can basically build bigger systems without taxing your charging system. So the amplifier technology basically draws a little bit of current when a traditional amplifier wouldn't draw much current, and it draws less current when a traditional amplifier would draw a ton of current. So that's where we gain our efficiencies.
Now, we've been reading some of the reports and some of the press releases on this product since its launch. You're claiming up to 500% efficiency in some cases. I mean, that is a huge number. But the way that you've explained it, and I just want to put this in layman terms that everybody understands, the draw that you're taking from the vehicle itself is going to be minimized. So if you're wondering why the wire gauge on that amplifier is so small, yet it's claiming such power output, I think Rob did a great job in explaining that. But really where this is going to happen for you is when the music starts playing loud, there's going to be instances where it draws and needs that power to drive those drivers. That power is now coming from that lithium ion battery. It's really, really slick if you think about it. So having said that, and correct me if I'm wrong on anything I just said, Rob, please, but what amplifiers or what is the range of products that feature PREACT?
So you're correct on all the technology, Ben. I mean, really, it just becomes more efficient and draws less current across the board, except on the one part maybe you're off on a little bit is during low power states when you're not listening to a ton of music, it actually is less efficient of an amplifier, but no one cares when the music's all the way down if it draws 2 amps versus a half an amp. So this technology is in our Mezzo series of amplifiers, so car and marine on the Mezzo amplifiers. So today I would like to focus on our MZA-8M amplifier and our MZA-6M amplifier. So these are our Mezzo marine amplifiers. The 8-channel is basically what it says. It's an 8-channel at 150 watts by 8. Again, maximum current draw on that amplifier is only 24 amps. The 6-channel in that same series is 150 by 6, and the maximum current draw in that amplifier is only 16 amps, which is really, really great. Both amplifiers include a full DSP software in them, which is the newest Analog Devices DSP chip. When we designed these amplifiers, we were very, very stringent on how we wanted the DSP to work. So the DSP is all on one page. There's no clicking between pages. It's very, very easy. But there's also a top analog control on these amplifiers. So that top analog control is for someone who does not want to use the DSP. And it can be turned off in the DSP settings. So if you set the amplifier and you don't want your customer messing with it, just flick the switch in the settings and it turns that feature off. All of our marine amplifiers are 100% Deutsch connectors. Power, ground, RCA inputs, speaker level outputs. So really what you need for a boat. And these Deutsch connectors, the reason we can do Deutsch connectors on the power and ground is because of the current draw situation. Because we draw such little current, we can use at 12 volts three 14 gauge wires to power the biggest 8-channel amplifier.
First off, Rob, might I critique that the look and feel of these amps is absolutely stellar. I mean, it looks really slick, really high end. Great features, like you said, the built-in DSP, the Deutsch connectors, obviously very beneficial for its environment where it's meant to be. I want to ask you also, while we're on spec, are these amps actually bridgeable? Can we combine any of the channels? And what about updating the software?
So these amplifiers are bridgeable in any standard configuration that you would normally bridge an amplifier in. So 2-ohm stereo, obviously, 4-ohm bridgeable. The 8-channel amplifier, if you bridge it down to a 4-channel amplifier, it's 500 watts RMS per channel, so tons of power to do a lot of stuff with. And the DSPs in them are flashable in two ways. So traditional DSP flash, where you can plug your computer in and do all your settings, or if you're repeating the installation, you can flash a program to a USB and just plug the USB into the amplifier. It flashes a couple times, tells you it's accepted the solution, and your amplifier is flash. So doing installs on the road or doing repetitive installs can be really, really easy.
Well, Rob, I wish we had more time to dive even deeper because there's so much to talk about here. But I think we covered the main thing, which was the pre-act technology, which is so important, so revolutionary, definitely a game changer. We talked about a couple of the models and some of the cool, slick features that they have. I guess the last question I have for you for today's interview is, when can we expect to have availability on these amplifiers, and where should people go to stay in tune with what's going on at MODUS?
So these amplifiers will be shipping to OEM customers in the beginning of July, and we expect to have retail availability towards the end of July, maybe early August. And then to really follow up what we're doing, either follow us on Facebook or go to modusglobal.com and follow us. And it's expanding every day, and we're adding stuff to it daily.
CE Outlook is dedicated to keeping the car audio and the electronics industry informed on the latest issues, trends, and product releases. New feature stories posted daily. Visit ceoutlook.com for the latest industry news. Now, earlier this year, we reported a big year for Memphis Audio, one of the iconic brands in our industry that have been around for a very long time. This year, celebrating their 60th year anniversary. And as you know, they've come out with some brand new product specific to celebrate their 60th anniversary, subs, amps, so on and so forth. But today we're not talking about product, because there's been a big announcement from the Memphis Audio camp, more specifically a shift in the model of its ownership. Joining us now is their longtime president, Nick Lamonaco, joining us. Now, Nick, welcome again to CMA Live. Let's get some clarity here. I'm sure the folks at home, the dealer network, and the distribution partners want to know what exactly is happening moving forward at Memphis Audio.
Yeah, Ben, in our 60th year of existence, we're going through a very exciting ownership transition, and I can't wait to tell you all about it.
Nick, I got to be honest, I can already sense the level of excitement emanating from you as we talk through this conversation. But I think it's a great opportunity here to give our listeners a little bit of insight of what led to this moment. You know, Memphis Audio has been such a piece of the fabric of car audio in North America, especially. And there's a long story there. So give us a little bit of insight as to how we got to where we are today, and of course, what it means for the future moving forward for your dealer network, the distributors, and of course, the end user. Let's take a step back a bit, because Memphis Audio, man, it's been around for a minute. So what has led up to this moment?
Yeah, Ben, as you all know, we're celebrating our 60th year, which means we started audio in 1965. I've been here almost that long. I started with Memphis in 2009, so I'm entering my 16th year of being with this awesome brand. And you know, this brand has meant a lot to me. As you guys have watched the videos, I live and breathe this brand. My crew lives and breathes this brand. And, you know, ownership, the Fulmers, Arthur Fulmer II, who recently passed away, he started the company in 65, and his son took over ownership, I believe, in the late 90s, became the CEO and president at that time. And we got to the point now where he wanted to retire, and there was not a family succession plan in place. So it seemed the right thing to do for me to look for a way for me to continue to lead this brand forward and find some investment to be able to take over the brand per se and move into the future of Memphis, the next chapter, taking the awesome 60 years that we've built so far and just continuing that path.
You know, Nick, I don't think there's any question for those of you who have been following us here in CMA that you, sir, are the living being behind the Memphis Audio brand. We know that you eat, sleep Memphis Audio each and every day. You've been such a critical part of the brand in growing its technologies and its offering. But we're talking about a shift in ownership, and you're paving the way, hopefully, for the next 60 years. And we can talk about it then, maybe. But for example, like, what can people expect? Like, both immediately in the short term, as well as the long term, as far as changes?
Well, Ben, the great part about this transition is in the short term, our customers and users won't see anything different because I retained the whole management team, my sales team, the inside crew, everyone that you're used to talking with and dealing with, all the great minds that are driving the brand are all still here. So I guess the easiest way to put it for short term, if you didn't know, you wouldn't know. But for long term, you're going to see a bunch of huge positive changes. I'm already hard in the works. We've got some new things in the brewing for customer portals and dealer portals, and a bunch of cool new stuff on marketing materials and connecting our both our dealers and our end users, connecting them more precisely to what they need. So getting them more in touch with the product tech specs and things like that, where we've done a good job in the past, but we really want to do a great job now and get everyone all the information they need and really help the consumer understand why this product's great for them, and then also help our dealers get all the information so they can tell the consumers what they need to know to really get the right Memphis system into their car. So short term, nothing. You won't notice anything. It's going to be the same awesome crew doing the same awesome stuff. Long term, we got a lot of exciting things in the works. And the biggest thing is we're going to have much better inventory availability, which everyone loves. So a lot of good things coming down the pipeline. But right now, you get our smiling faces the same as you always have.
One thing that I always note about Memphis Audio is you guys are always pushing the envelope in not only introducing new technologies and innovations, but also covering the span of different categories, such as marine, power sports, so on and so forth. Now, does this new move in any way affect the expediency of the innovations that we might see moving forward? And will it help in any way open up some opportunities to develop product maybe at a faster rate, or new technologies that might not have been on the table before, for example?
Yeah, as you mentioned, in the last few years, we haven't skipped out on innovation, especially during COVID. We had a ton of time to develop and come out with some awesome new products. So we are known for that, but you are right with your comment. I mean, have green lighted some stuff that we've kind of been backburnered or waiting in the wings, and now we have the opportunity and the resources to hit the gas on those things. So not that we've been light on innovation or new product, but we're definitely now going to be able to take the innovation and the new product development to the next level. We ramp it up even further. So in the next couple of years, you're definitely going to see our awesome product development team be even more awesomer.
Now, quickly circling back, Nick, to a comment you made previously, dealers, everybody else, it will be used to the faces that they're always accustomed to dealing with, because basically you've managed to keep the entire team intact. Now, having said that, from a logistical standpoint, are we still going to see, Memphis being a part of it from a location and a warehousing standpoint? What about, we're talking about, different categories, because, beyond Memphis Car Audio, the previous parent company were involved in many different types of businesses and categories as well outside of audio. So what does that look like?
Yeah, the product is still going to be shipping from our same Memphis area warehouse, same as it always have. Our regional distributors, international distributors, none of that's going to change. That's going to remain the same. But as you mentioned, on the good side, we had some other things that we were involved with as a parent company with the former companies. We had motorcycle helmets in the past. We had ready-to-assemble furniture. We had logistics, seat covers going back to the teens. So the great thing about this new company, Memphis Audio LLC, is we are audio only. So we obviously have our car, marine, power sports, motorcycle audio. And then, as you all know, we started to get into the home audio and outdoor audio world in the past couple of years. So now we are 100% audio only.
So if you're just tuning in, we're sitting down here with the new CEO of Memphis Audio with a recent announcement in the shift of ownership. We've gone ahead and outlined some of the changes, what to expect, some of the plans. And, from a short-term perspective versus a long-term perspective, I mean, it sounds like everything is absolutely secure and moving forward. So to wrap this up, Nick, what is your main message to the public, to your users, as well as your distributors and everybody else in between? In this industry, we've seen shift happen. Different brands get bought out by other brands and so on and so forth. So what key message do you have, Nick, to your customers that they can hear from your mouth when it comes to the new Memphis Audio moving forward?
Well, one thing Memphis Audio is always known for is being a great partner with our dealers and building the right product for our dealers and consumers. And that's the biggest thing that I want to just reiterate with Memphis. So when we transitioned into different things over the years, whether it was regional distribution, e-commerce, although we're always kind of the last to the party because we wanted to make sure we always did it right. And so with the transition like this, we want to focus on that again, and we want to do it right. We want to make sure that business is not interrupted, that you're getting the same care and love from the Memphis team, and then you're still getting the same great products, innovation, and all the other perks that come with Memphis Audio. So as we've seen, as you mentioned, lots of transitions happen in our industry in the last few years. Some have done it better than others, but that's really our main goal, is to focus on really not seeing an interruption in business, whether that's just being able to call and laugh while you're placing an order with someone on the phone, or you got a technical question, or you need something rush shipped. Like, we're going to just focus on taking care of everyone from our dealers down to the end user the same way. And we don't want any hiccup in that relationship, whether it's the dealer or the consumer. That's going to be our biggest goal with this whole transition. And I always say the proof is in the pudding. As I said, you wouldn't know really if you didn't know. So when we get through this, you start to see the positive changes, but in the short term, you're going to be like, oh, wow, they're still taking care of me. Memphis is still awesome.
There's an incredibly strong network of distributors across Canada, and today we're here at CMA Expo to speak with them and get a sense of how they feel about their partnership with SiriusXM.
SiriusXM helps connect our industry because we are reproducing music. We are delivering content in a different way. We deliver hard parts to consumer. They deliver us the content on those hard parts.
It's a great add-on for the head unit sale, and it's pretty much just a natural addition now to offer it to the customer after they purchase a new head unit for their car.
As a distributor of SiriusXM, we all benefit. As partners, they offer and bring to the table the love of music. We're all in this industry because ultimately we love music.
They've been a great partner, and they've actually created a lot of excitement again in the industry.
It really brings the whole industry together, and it's music-based. It's great. That's what we do. We sell music. They provide content. It's fabulous.
As you know, MB QUART has been absolutely blazing a trail when it comes to Jeep and truck solutions, of course, power sports as well. And today is a special day because, yes, right here, we got the scoop on yet another new innovative product coming to you from the team at MB QUART. Joining us now is, of course, their marketing manager and creative director, Rob Anderson. Rob, welcome again to CMA Live. I see the headline here, so let's get into it. A brand new subwoofer enclosure for the very popular Tacoma platform. What can you tell us?
What's up, Ben? It's great to be back here on the CMA network. We have some exciting stuff today we're going to talk about. We're talking about MB QUART Toyota Tacoma tuned audio, specifically the subwoofer enclosure. Super excited. This thing is going to take the market by storm.
All right, Rob, well, let's get into it. A couple of phrases that you've been using here, Tacoma tuned. So let's talk about that first before we get into that beautiful piece in front of you. What is Tacoma tuned all about?
Well, our tuned audio systems are kind of becoming a big mainstay here for MB QUART. Obviously with our UTV tuned audio and then our infamous Jeep tuned audio. Now we're expanding out to the other off-road powerhouse, to Toyota, right? And Tacoma specifically, right? One of the largest vehicle applications in the off-road segment. So specifically, the MB QUART engineering team designs and engineers every Toyota tuned audio product to fit specifically in that application that is tuned for the interior, tuned for the experience, and then the fit and finish is next level.
Well, Rob, it sounds like there's a bigger story there, but we're going to circle back to that and address the elephant in the room, which is this beautiful enclosure next to you. So for the record, guys, if you're wondering, this is going to be for Toyota Tacoma 2016 to 2023. Of course, that's the third generation. I'm seeing two subwoofers, and I mean, we all know it is a cramped space back there. So talk to us a little bit about the design.
Of course, right? So one of the things that we have to deal with from just the install side of any kind of truck application is that limited space. So the engineering and design team did an amazing job on this subwoofer enclosure. It's designed to go in the back rear seat section behind that largest passenger side, slot there, so that it mounts up perfectly with a little bit of trim of the OEM panel. It fits in perfectly there. So we're utilizing as much space as we can available to us and putting in, like you said, two 10-inch application-specific subwoofers. The subwoofers are designed for the the cubic air that's in this box. It's a long throw design and high output. So it's a 4-ohm woofer wired at 2. And so we're getting a lot of power out of here, ready for any kind of application. And the nice thing too is that it's 300 watts per sub for 600 total with that wiring configuration. So a pretty serious enclosure that I think everyone's gonna love.
I want to comment here, Rob, that I think you guys are doing a phenomenal job, not only with the actual finished product, but just thinking about those solutions, right? This is a platform that is very popular. There are customers are coming in with needs for this type of platform. I love to see these kind of new products being introduced. Let's dive a little bit deeper. You talked about it's wired for 2-ohm mono. It's got two 10-inch subs, 600 watts of power. Let's talk about that enclosure real quick, because that looks like a pretty slick piece. What is that made of? And what is the look and feel or the touchy feeliness to it?
Well, the enclosure itself is made out of HDPE, so high density polyethylene. So we're going to have a lot of strength and rigidity out of the enclosure itself while retaining the lightweight quality of that HDPE material. Fit and finish wise, one, it fits that trim area in the behind the seat perfectly, but then we texture matched everything so that it gives you the most OEM quality fit and finish that we could probably get out on the market. So we stand behind this product. Even the big thing is everyone will show you the front, but let's talk about the back here. So everything from, we think of the cavities that are along the back of the cab there in the Tacoma. The mounting solution is super easy to install. We include all the mounting hardware, and it is just a very, very, very clean enclosure. Yeah, just the fit and finish and everything, bar none, one of our finest products today. I'm pretty impressed with the design team, and I've heard this system. Once those sub break in, I think everyone's gonna be very excited once they hear it.
All right, so if you're just tuning in, MB QUART about to launch a brand new subwoofer with two 10s. That's right, two 10s to fit in the back of a 3rd generation Tacoma. Now, let's circle back to something you said in the beginning. This seems like a stepping stone into a new offering coming to you from MB QUART when it comes to perhaps the Toyota Tacoma as a platform. Can you tell us any more details at this time?
Well, Ben, you know my style all too well. I always love giving the CMA viewers an exclusive. So this is the first of many SKUs that are going to be coming out, specifically targeting that 3rd gen Tacoma. So the 2016 to 2023, we're going to be covering all trim models. So JBL OEM to base OEM audio systems. We have some serious stage kits coming out that will be paired perfectly with this enclosure with maybe a 5-channel amp to power the whole thing. Definitely need to be on the lookout for that, hopefully in the next coming months here.
All right, well, thanks again, Rob, for joining us on the show. Brand new enclosure for Toyota Tacoma from MB QUART. A couple other goodies that Rob just mentioned. But for now, Rob, what is the timeline looking like for availability for this particular unit? And where should people go to keep up to date with the latest and greatest from MB QUART?
Well, this unit is available in our warehouse right now. So it's available for you, your dealer network, and all the customers out there that have that 3rd gen Tacoma. The nice thing too here is it's priced really competitively here, $899.99 USD for two 10-inch subwoofers in the enclosure. I know some competitors out there might have just released an application-specific subwoofer enclosure that's only a single 10 at $1,000. So we're definitely kind of trying to set the trend here and what people can expect for their dollar and output. If you want to find out more, definitely head to mbquart.com. Follow us on all the social media, and then tune in here for CMA for more from us.
And that's a wrap on this week's edition of CMA Live All Access, sponsored by SiriusXM and brought to you by 5-Axis Innovations. Make sure you check out all our videos at cmanetworks.com. I'm your host, Ben Wu. Until next time, we connect.
There's never been a better time to have SiriusXM with over 150 channels in your vehicle. Your Platinum Plan offer includes more than ever before to enjoy online, on your phone, or at home. Create your own ad-free personalized stations powered by Pandora. Hear ad-free extra channels and enjoy favorite shows with SiriusXM Video on Demand. What you love is on